going on, everyone? So the Portland Trailblazers, we'll see what happens with them and Jeremy Grant, right? Their asking price for Grant is still too high. So far, they haven't dropped the price, but they're shopping Fernie Simons, they're shopping Jeremy Grant, right? Maybe Robert Williams is a piece that can eventually be traded. So they're probably a team that is going to be there for a while, right? All these teams don't really have an incentive to get a deal done ASAP, right? You still got a couple months before training camp. All these teams can kind of take their time, right? Lakers are active. Lakers are pushing hard to try to get trades done. All these teams know Lakers are probably going to be there, right? We can trade, like we know what the Lakers want for our guys. Worst case scenario, push comes to shove, we can go make that move. But outside of Portland, one of the teams that I talked about is like the Toronto Raptors, right? The Raptors have several guys that make some sense. But so do the Brooklyn Nets, right? And there is a genuine argument, and many people have pointed out, I've even talked about it, I've even done breakdown videos on both, of Cam Johnson over Jeremy Grant, right? He's cheaper, he's younger. Now, there are injury concerns with Cam Johnson. Like, that's his biggest knock, right? Like, is that, can he stay healthy? And enough to like really make an impact, but on like everything that you want from Jeremy Grant, Cam Johnson provides, right? But he's a guy you can just have a lot longer, and his contract's a lot cheaper. Guy that can play the 3, play the 4, shoot the ball, defend the perimeter, defend multiple positions. Jeremy Grant's a little better putting the ball on the deck and being a little more crafty and creative on the offensive side than Cam Johnson is, but he's not no slouch in that regard, right? He is a guy that could still do some things on that side. So also rebounding, right? Like there's several arguments for Cam Johnson, right? You got like De'Aaron Sharp, you got Dennis Schroeder is another guy, which I wouldn't hate bringing him back, right? We need some athleticism, we need some point of attack, particularly if you're trading like a D'Lo or something like that, you could use another guard, right? Like, you look at the Brooklyn Nets, and they're in an interesting spot. So, like right now, there's a lot of talks about the Cavs and the Nets working out a trade for Isaac Okoro. So basically, Isaac Okoro swapped for Dorian Finney-Smith because the Cavs have wanted Dorian Finney-Smith for a while. They're, for whatever reason, are not really high on Isaac Okoro, which I think is odd. He's 23 years old. He's their best perimeter defender, can shoot the ball. Like, the guy's good, right? Like, is he, like, tailor-made ready for a team that's trying to win and compete now? No, but he's not bad. Like, he is a good piece that could be very impactful, but that's their problem that they got to sort out. The issue is Nets roster is full, and on top of that, you look at a team like the Nets, like they don't want to take on the Isaac Okoro, and now you have to like clear roster spots and salaries, and how does the Cavs make the salary work because they still need to fill out a roster. Like it's very complicated in regards to getting that done. So it's very possible that it doesn't get done. But even if it does, Dorian Finney-Smith, I'd love for the Lakers to land Dorian Finney-Smith, but it's another sign, if he does get traded to the Cavs, it's another sign that, like, hey, the Nets are selling, right? The Nets are trying to ship out and get off of everybody. But if that doesn't work and that doesn't fall through, maybe you can get a Dorian Finney-Smith, right? I don't know if they would trade Sharp or not, but even if they won't, like, let's say that they won't do that, because I'd like him as, a backup center. I think he would be serviceable, but even if you can't get something like that, like getting a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Cam Johnson, again, can you get a Dennis Schroeder, right? Like now you got like that point of attack, you got the 3-and-D wing, you got another 3-and-D wing that could also play the 2, right? So you could have one come off the bench, you could have one start. I mean, you could even kind of have Schroeder come off the bench and go like Reeves, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Now you're better defensively. You got quality shooting, right? And then you can bring Dennis Schroeder. You could bring Dennis Schroeder off the bench as that point of attack, as that guy. I'm thinking Nets and Spencer Dinwiddie. And Nets are a team that have been interested in D'Angelo Russell in the past. Maybe they're still interested in D'Angelo Russell. Also, D'Lo is an expiring contract, which makes sense for them. A team that is trying to tank, is trying to rebuild, right? one, he becomes a tradable asset later on down the road if they want to, or two, you keep him, you let the money fall off the books. Now you cleared some cap space. Plus, Ben Simmons, his contract, I believe it's expiring this year, right? If it's not this year, it's next year, but I think it's this year, right? So you kind of look at a team like the Nets, and it's like, okay, they have a lot of potential, and they just got a huge package in return for Mikal Bridges, right? So they're set up great for the future. Have their pick, go tank for Cooper Flag. It's a team that's trying to tank for the bottom, right? They're a team that wants to rebuild. You got a grand prize in Cooper Flag. And even if you don't get Cooper Flag, there's like 5 other guys in this draft that many believe will potentially be a star or even better at some point in this league, right? Like the top 5 picks in this year's draft are all looked at as guys that would have went number 1 in this previous draft, right? So if you're a team like the Nets, you have all the incentive in the world right now, right? Recoup and gain as many assets as possible, right? A lot of people believe that the Lakers draft picks are going to be the best on the market at some point because once LeBron and AD leave, that they think that the Lakers are going to be terrible, which may not be far from the truth, right? Like, I do still believe that Lakers will get somebody at some point, but, like, what if it takes a couple years, right? Even when Kobe retired, it was, 2 years before LeBron comes? So, even that 2-year window, you may be able to get a lottery pick or something from the Lakers, right? So, if you're a team like Brooklyn, you have this incentive to unload guys. And instead of trying to piece this all together and it's like, okay, let's send this guy here and this guy here. And, so you may be able to just do everything in one big swoop, right? You may be able to just say, hey, we'll give you, Dorian Finney-Smith, who's making like 12 million or something like that off the top of my head. Let's just call it 13 million to be safe, right? 13 million. Then you got Cam Johnson, who's making, 22 million, but let's call it 23 million because you got to remember, Lakers have to send out more salary. Can't take salary, so they have to send salary. So you're talking, between those two, 30, let's call it 36 million. And then, you go get, say, a I keep saying Spencer Dinwiddie because the Nets, a Dennis Schroeder, who is now on the Nets. Dennis Schroeder from the Nets, you can get him, who he's making another 13 million, right? Let's call it 14 million to be safe. So you're at 36. So you're talking 50 million in salary. Well, you could go D'Lo, Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura. They're a rebuilding team. Maybe you throw in because you got Schroeder and you got several things that you need. Maybe you're throwing in one of the young guys. Maybe you're throwing in a Maxwell Lewis. Or, a Jalen Hood-Schifino or something like that. It's kind of like, hey, here you go, right? Work out some package, get some return. Now you got basically an upgrade defensively, right? You got shooting, you got everything you need. I don't hate the idea, right? The Brooklyn Nets could be one of the more valuable trade targets, something that I've talked about in the past. But just now that we have more information on just everything that's going on, and the Nets continuing to be active on the trade market and the trade front and kind of seem like the team that just wants to kind of unload guys, right? They kind of want young talent. They want young guys. They want draft picks. They want to kind of tank for the bottom, right? The Lakers could kind of use that to their advantage. Obviously, they're not. I don't think that they're just going to give guys away. I don't think you're going to be able to get all 3 guys for just give us 2 seconds and match salary. No, you're probably going to have to give up, a first and maybe a pick swap in a couple seconds or something like that. Because I don't think that they're going to get a first for Dorian Finney-Smith. Cam Johnson, I think in the right situation could probably yield you a first. And then, Dennis Schroeder isn't going to get you a first. So, let's say 2 seconds for Dorian Finney-Smith. Let's say be nice and say 2 seconds for Dennis Schroeder. So there's 4 seconds. And then, maybe a first because you're getting all 3 and you're adding that. Again, if you could get a Sharp, that'd be great, right? Now you still have your center position, right? Again, there's even if you just got say Dennis Schroeder, Cam Johnson, and Sharp, right? You solve your point of attack, point guard, defensive position, you solve your center position, and you solve your 3-and-D wing position. And all these guys are still young enough to be on the roster for several seasons. Right, so you kind of solve all your positions of need, and I don't hate the idea, right? I think Brooklyn is a valuable option. Even if you just like, even if you went and got like, let's say you got, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and then let's say you were able to get that for like a first, a pick swap, and let's say a second or 2 seconds, something like that, right? And then you still had a first, and then you had to match, what, 35 million or whatever it is. I mean, Dorian Finney-Smith might not even be making that much, but again, I'd rather round up because Lakers need to send out more salary, right? So you could basically do D'Lo, Rui, and like a vet minimum guy to basically clear what you need there. Get those guys, and then go and maybe make a play for a Wendell Carter Jr., right? Or maybe you're doing a 3-team deal. Maybe you're working on a 3-team trade. I've even talked and broken down because supposedly the Orlando Magic want a player in Cam Johnson, right? So maybe you can kind of work something out with the 3 of you to where, maybe you're taking Dorian Finney-Smith and, like I said, Dennis Schroeder and then Wendell Carter Jr., and you're kind of helping facilitate Cam Johnson going to the Orlando Magic, right? But you solved your center position. You solved your defensive point of attack guard. You solved your 3-and-D perimeter guy in Dorian Finney-Smith. So now you got that defensive guy, 3-and-D. You got your point of attack guard, and you got your center that you can slot alongside Anthony Davis. Again, you kind of work everything out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Best question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you like the Brooklyn Nets? Do you think that they're a valuable option? Do you think that they're the best option? Do you think no, still go get Jerami Grant? Would you want to try to go get both, like Jerami Grant and Cam Johnson? Right? I mean, you could always do that and go big, right? I mean, you could if you really wanted to, and kind of go positionless, but like just for lineup sake, go like LeBron, Reeves, Johnson, Grant, and then Anthony Davis. Like that could be your 5 even if you wanted to. And then on defense, like kind of just shift like LeBron goes back to like the 4 spot, and then you have like Reeves, Grant, and Cam patrolling the perimeter with AD down low. Could be an interesting kind of configuration. Got some real size, got some defense, got some versatility, right? Kind of got all the things that you want as far as like the checklist goes. So, again, don't hate the idea. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I would love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.